So
Maybe
good morning.
Sunny.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. So welcome to the Friday session of Ignite Mind by BrainCiti. Ignite Mind is a session where we bring in all the speakers from all over the world for this powerful, ignite and empowering session. And it is our honor to invite the dear friend of mine, my also once upon a time badminton partner. He is a doctor in NMC Hospital, Dubai. Let me read it so that I don't add. And the best part is he stays next to building. So I did not see him in the beginning, and I was like, shall I go to his house and ask him to come online? So let me just share the screen. Let me also invite you for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be having a session on how to turn passion into action with the help of Ikigai. We have an Ikigai alchemist. He's already done several sessions on Ikigai, Jagdish Kumar. We'll be having this session tomorrow on Saturday. And let us welcome today our Ignite Mind speaker. He's an physiotherapist by profession and is currently working as a physiotherapist and head of physical and medicine rehabilitation department at NMC Specialty Hospital in Dubai. He specializes on sports medicine, musculoskeletal rehabilitation. He's a passionate about lifestyle medicine. He's also a certified plant-based nutritionist and posture specialist. He's a founder of life-changing program, Be Your Own Doctor. So let's welcome our speaker for today, Gerald Abraham. Good morning, Gerald. Let me just give you a co-host rights and unmute you. Yeah. Good morning to you and over to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Naina. A very good morning to all the amazing people in the club. I'm so glad to be part of your club and this meeting in specific. It gives me a great feeling and I indeed have a great respect for your club, for the great mission it has to, bring people to the awareness, for them to open doors for opportunities, happiness, health, and prosperity in their life. And this meeting is definitely going to be a memorable one for me for two important reasons. One is I've been attending meetings at 5 and 6 a.m. in the morning, but I've never given a speech at 5 or 6 a.m. in my life. And so I thank you all, and I indeed feel great to give a speech at 6 a.m. And then the next thing, this meeting is going to be a memorable one for me is simply because I'm giving a presentation in this amazing club. So for these two reasons, this meeting is going to be a memorable one for me. So without wasting much time, I do understand that I do have a very short duration for the presentation that I would like to share with you, because normally this takes like 1 hour. I'm just going to cut short everything, and I'm just going to share everything in about 20 minutes time that's given to me. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So sitting disease and postural awareness, just like what this club is creating awareness about something, I'm just here to create an awareness about this particular thing called sitting disease and postural fitness. I'm sure most of you have an idea as to what this means, sitting disease. And we all know that we shouldn't be sitting for long hours, yet some of us have taken action and most of us are yet to take action. So probably by the end of this session today, you will all come to an awareness how bad is sitting and what you must do to just change this habit of not sitting for long hours. So what we'll be discussing today is this facts about sitting and sitting and the postural decline. And then what we'll be discussing is health impacts of poor posture. And then I'm, of course, going to finish this whole presentation with some self-help techniques that you all can take home and immediately implement it in your daily routine. So what are the facts about sitting? So 70% of the world spend their waking hours sedentary. In other words, all throughout the day, we just spend like 70% of the time just sitting on our chair, either which may be part of our work, or sometimes it may be part of our education or entertainment, that we just spend 70% of our time simply sitting. And then an average adult sits for 12 hours. That's really a lot. An average adult sits for 12 hours a day. And then sitting is the fourth leading risk factor for global mortality the fourth leading risk factor for global immortality. Global mortality is physical inactivity. Excuse me for fumbling. I'm not so used to speaking at 6 a.m. Probably I must join the club as well. And then what is the other fact that we have? 3.2 million deaths a year are related to physical inactivity. 3.2 million deaths. If COVID deaths would reach this number in about a month's time, then we are all going to be really shocked. And 3.2 million deaths a year are related to physical inactivity. And then there's one study which says women who spend 6+ hours a day in sitting had 94% risk of death. So, which means these women died during the study itself. And then sitting disease affects everyone who sits. So, there's a group of people who believe it's not a problem. I'm just sitting all throughout the day, but at the end of the day, I do have good amount of exercise. I go to the gym, I do a lot of exercise. So I think it should not be a problem because I compensate my daily routine where I sit with good amount of exercise, which may not be helping you, is something that we need to be aware. So sitting disease and its health impacts. So now that we know something about sitting, how much time we spend, and what are some of the problems that surrounding sitting. Now, I just want you to come to the awareness. Sitting disease does have a lot of health impacts. When I say sitting disease, it simply means sitting for long hours. Just give me a moment. Okay, so what are the health impacts of sitting for long hours? So the first one, of course, the bone health. Your bone can just slowly and gradually degenerate. We all have heard about osteoporosis. We have heard about the joint health and all of these things. Your bone can slowly decline and you may lose the normal strength and integrity of your bone. And then the next one is sitting actually affects your brain. There's one researcher who says 90% of the health of your brain completely depends on the movement of your spine. So when your spine, the backbone of your body, does not have enough movements, then it actually affects your brain. It is as simple as this. Your brain is one important organ of your body which relies on the oxygen that your body can supply. So two things that can be blocked when you sit for long hours is that one is the oxygenation to your brain, because your lungs are actually compressed when you sit. When you stand, when you walk, your lungs are working at its peak performance. But when it comes to sitting, just let's all try to do this. Just slightly slouch down and try to take a deep breath and see how deep your breath can be. It is impossible for you to actually take a deep breath when you just slouch down like this and take a deep breath. You see, it is impossible. Whereas you try to sit straight like this and take a deep breath, or rather stand and try to take a deep breath, you will realize that you can actually take a much deeper breath. So when your body cannot actually take a deeper breath, which simply means your lungs cannot supply enough oxygen to your brain. And the other thing is, when the spine is not moving enough, now the oxygenation to your brain can be affected. And then there's something called the cerebrospinal fluid. Now the cerebrospinal fluid is something that surrounds your brain and surrounds your spinal column as well. But the spinal fluid is something that has to keep circulating, and this circulation is completely dependent on how much you move. So if you're confined to the chair, this circulation of the spinal fluid is affected, and then the circulation of spinal fluid to your brain is affected as well. So the nutrients that are supposed to reach your brain is seriously compromised. Okay. And what else? It causes weight gain. Now, this an interesting study again that says you burn a stunning 200 calories every day when you just keep yourself mobile. But when you sit for long hours, you cannot just burn this excess 200 calories that you could do by just keeping yourself active all throughout the day. So 200 calories per day, by the end of the year, you end up burning somewhere around 76,000 calories. That is close to, running 10 marathons. Imagine, most of us do not have the habit of walking or running, and we all want to take part in a marathon. But imagine if you can just keep yourself active all throughout the day, you can just burn around 76,000 calories. That's equivalent to that of running 10 marathons a year. And, on the other hand, when you just sit for 8 hours or even 12 hours, just like the one of those statistics say, you will end up gaining weight, which is the case with sitting for long hours. And then increased risk of cancer. When we say cancer, in my presentation where I talk about cancer, I talk about one important thing. Cancer is a fight where your body loses the fight between oxidation and antioxidants. Oxidation is something like that's causing damage to your body. And on the other hand, you have something called antioxidants, which protect you against oxidation. So there's a whole range of antioxidants that come from food that we eat. And on the other hand, we have antioxidants that your body has to produce. As a matter of fact, the antioxidants that your body has to produce are way powerful than most of the antioxidants that we get from our food. So one of those antioxidants is called glutathione, which is produced by your body. Now, glutathione is something that can be produced with movement. Okay. And when you're confined to the chair or you become a couch potato, now you cannot produce the antioxidant like glutathione. And there are so many other antioxidants that your body produces, which can all be compromised when you're just confined to the chair. As a result of sitting disease, you may not be producing enough of these antioxidants, as a result of which this particular study says you may just end up with three important cancers. One is endometrial cancer, another one is colon cancer, and the other one is breast cancer. probably other cancers too, but these three cancers are listed. So it is very important that we keep ourselves active. And what next? Increased risk of cardiovascular disease. So we all are well aware that inactivity is completely linked to cardiovascular disease, heart disease, right? So when you don't use it, you will lose it. Okay, this is very much applicable when it comes to the increased risk of cardiovascular disease. When you don't use your body, we are meant to be moving. Our human body is originally designed by God for moving and not to be immobile. Okay, so increased risk of cardiovascular disease is one of those health impacts that you can develop as a result of sitting for long hours. And then this actually interferes with your circulation. When you sit for long hours, it actually compromises the circulation of your body. Your blood circulation cannot happen the way it has to be. So it is as simple as this. You see, your heart pumps out blood, and this blood has to reach every single cell of your body, the nook and corners of your body. But how does this happen? Once your heart pumps out the blood, and it is out there in your body. Now it is taken to the next segment of your body through something called as the muscle pumping action. What does this mean? So I keep moving my hands, I keep walking. The muscles of your body are contracting and relaxing. So this acts like a pump which pushes the blood from one area to the other. Now imagine what happens when you sit for long hours. The muscle pump is completely stopped and there's no circulation that's happening. If there has to be some amount of circulation that has to happen, it is very sluggish and slow. Okay, now there are various parts of your body, especially the areas in your joint. There are structures in your joint called the cartilage between the joint. If there are people who do have the habit of eating non-vegetarian, you may know at the end of the chicken bone or the mutton bone, there's a cup-like structure that's attached strongly, which is called as the cartilage, which is neither like the bony part, not like the fleshy part, and which is attached to the end part of the bone, which is called as the cartilage. The purpose of this cartilage is to prevent the bone and bone come in contact with each other. It permits a smooth gliding between these bones. And this cartilage, takes its nutrition just by movement of the joint. Just by moving, it is kind of slightly compressed and it just absorbs the nutrition that comes into the joint through what is called as the synovial fluid. There's a fluid in all of our joints, and this fluid acts like a lubricant on its own, but it's not just a lubricant, it brings in a lot of nutrition to the joint structures, especially the cartilage. So when you don't move, the lubricant by itself could dry up. And on the other hand, there's no pumping action happening within the joint, so the cartilage could just slowly and gradually wear out, and you may end up with problems like osteoarthritis and so much more. And what next? It causes increased risk of diabetes. So let's say you eat increased amount of sugar, and we all know glucose is the most important fuel of our body. But then when you take increased amount of fuel, but there's no requirement for those fuel, it can just be stagnant. It may just linger around your blood circulation, which results in increased amount of sugar in your body. And what next? Increased risk of osteoporosis. Your bone actually improves its health just by moving. There are areas in your bones which are called as trabeculae, which means these are areas of your bone which helps the bone to become stronger day by day. So when you just miss out on these daily physical activities and movements, then your bones become brittle and it could just become completely osteoporotic. I'm sure some of you watching this may have received a diagnosis from your doctor that your bones are osteoporotic, right? And the last but not the least, it can cause muscular imbalance and poor postural alignment. We are just going to spend the rest of our time discussing about this particular thing, muscular imbalance and poor postural alignment. Now, what is an ideal posture. Okay, we now know that posture, I mean, sitting can cause poor posture. Okay, poor bodily alignment. What is an ideal posture? We all have heard again about posture, but we just have to understand what exactly is the right posture. Let's try to find out. Ideal posture is symmetrically balanced on both sides, which means vertically and horizontally in relation to the patient's center of gravity. Just watch these pictures. The first one shows how your body has to be horizontally aligned. Your shoulders are supposed to be in one straight line. When you draw a line horizontally, your shoulders are supposed to be properly leveled, and so should be your hip. It cannot be tilted to one side. Your shoulder cannot be tilted to one side like this. It has to be in a level, and your knee joints are supposed to be in the same level. So I just want all of you to do this one. You just have to click a picture of yourself while you face forward. Just ask someone to click a picture of yourself and just try to do a self evaluation. Is your shoulder really dropped? I mean, you may start from your head. Is your head tilted like this? Or is your shoulder dropped? If someone has got a head tilt, they are most likely to have a shoulder tilt as well. And they are most likely to have a hip tilt to the side as well. And their knee may not be in a level. And these are some of the problems that you can see when you just try to click a picture facing forward or from behind when you click a picture. Okay. And then your body has to be properly vertically aligned. Just take a look at the second image. Your body has to be vertically aligned. So, which means there are several checkpoints of your body: your ear, the tip of your shoulder, and the hip joint, and the knee joint, and the ankle, the prominence of your ankle. When you view your body from your side, all of these structures should be in perfect one single line. Whereas your body could be just misaligned, and most of these lines could be kinked here and there, and you could be probably having your head poked out like this, which is what we call as a forward head posture. Your tummy could be bulged out, and the lower back, there's a curve, right? And this curve could be kind of exaggerated, and which is what we call as a hyperlordosis. And all of these problems you could be seeing. So an ideal posture is where your body is perfectly aligned vertically and horizontally. And then ideal posture is to have strong core musculature. This is where things get interesting. Why do my body just not stay in a right posture? Why is my shoulder tilting to one side? Or when I view myself from the side, why do I have a pokey head, a forward head posture, or my abdomen is bulged out and my back is kind of curved? Why do I have that? Because of this particular thing. Imagine your body like a tall pole, and this pole has got stay wires over the sides, over the front, over the back. So on all four sides, we have stay wires to stabilize this pole in one straight position. Now imagine if one of these stay wires is stronger than the other, the pole could just bend towards one side and may not be straight. And this is the case with all of us. You know what happens when you sit for long hours? You're engaging all the muscles of the front side of your body, and we hardly realize that we have muscles over the back side of our body. So what happens, what we end up having is this: the muscles over the front side of your body, the muscles over the front side of your neck, the chest muscles, the muscles over the front portion of your shoulder, front portion of your hip, they all become overactive, and the muscles over the back side of your body are underactive. And as a result, these muscles kind of pull you down like this, and you develop a forward head posture, your shoulders round forward, and then you develop a hunched back, and so much more. Okay. And this is where you end up having what is called as an imbalance between these muscular structures. One group of muscles are overactive and the other group of muscles are underactive, which is what I call as muscular imbalance. Or in other words, we end up having poor, strong core musculature. Okay, so the ideal posture is something where you have a good musculature on all the sides of your body, which is when your shoulders are level, your hip is leveled, and all the joints vertically and horizontally, your body is perfectly aligned. And what else? So an ideal posture is something where your body does not go into postural collapse while performing dynamic movements. What does that mean? You know, so far what we were discussing is to stand straight in any particular position, either facing forward or facing side, and your body has to be perfectly aligned. What about movements? You know, when you see people, when they are moving, they may be just walking with their shoulder tilted. Or even I have seen people where they just rotate their body and just keep walking. So dynamic movements is simply those movements that you perform. Like it may be just squatting. When you see a person squat with a stick on their shoulder or a rod on their shoulder, you may see that they are just tilted to one side and they just go down and up. Or when you ask them to perform a press up like this, and you see that one hand is down and the other hand is up, which is all a clear indication that you have a poor posture or your body is misaligned. Okay, so now that you have come to the awareness what is a right posture, what is a poor posture, I want you to recognize some difference about posture. The first one is postural awareness. I'm sure most of you seated here have come across this word posture. Most of our parents and us parents, we keep telling our children, hey, come on, sit straight. Come on, stand straight. Why are you leaning to one side? This is not looking good. Stand straight. Or even while sleeping, hey, don't sleep like that. That's not a right posture. Sleep straight. And these are what I call as postural awareness. To sit straight, to stand straight, to sleep properly are all what we call as postural awareness. But then there's something called as postural fitness. What does that mean? Is there are certain group of muscles in your body which are responsible to keep your body in a straight position. We already discussed that, which are what we call as the core musculature, the stay wires on all the sides. They need to have the adequate strength. So when they have the adequate strength, whether you want it or not, you won't slouch. You don't have to be really conscious all the time that I need to sit straight. The muscles will do the job if they are fit enough to do that, to have the adequate strength. And then we have something called postural collapse. What postural collapse is, uh, you start your day fine. You want to sit straight in front of the computer and work properly, maintaining the right posture. But then as you spend 20 minutes or more, half an hour, 1 hour just sitting in front of your computer, even without your knowledge, your body just slowly gets into this collapse. You may just slowly lean to the side or to the front, or you may just come to the front like this and work on your computer like that, or you just get into any convenient position. We sometimes we believe that's the comfortable position, but I call it the postural collapse. So there's something called postural awareness and there's something called postural fitness. And in between this is what we have the postural collapse. So postural fitness is something we all should be aiming for. Okay, so to strengthen the back muscles of your body. So I always use this particular phrase, use it or you will lose it. Most of us hardly realize we have muscles over the front. We wash our vessels, we read our books, we work on the computer. Sometimes we even hit the gym hard for the muscles over the front side of our body. And I do come across a lot of these bodybuilders who stand in front of the mirror and do exercise for especially for the muscles that they can see in the mirror and completely ignore the muscles which they can't see, which is the back muscles of the body. And these muscles hardly get any activity. As a result, you see, these muscles may not work for the rest of your life. And the movements of your backside of your body is something that you have to forget for lifetime. One simple example is this. We all bend our neck 100 times during the day just to look into a mobile phone and do everything. But we hardly realize the fact that there's a movement like this. We need to bend our neck to the back like this. And most of the patients who visit the hospital, where, they complain of back pain, the first thing that I want to see is how good is your movement towards the back, and they can't move because they have already lost that movement. Okay, so you use it or you're going to lose it. And to understand, here's a beautiful image of this young lady. And I'm sure to most of us, this should be a very nice pose, very good, pretty lady, a picture of a pretty lady. And but then when we just try to do an evaluation, look at this, the shoulder is dropped, and which is what happens with most of us. And look at her hip, it's not perfectly aligned. So this is what I call as the muscular imbalance or a poor postural alignment. Okay. Now, there are a lot of health problems that can come as a result when your body is poorly aligned. Just think about this. Even a car's wheel is supposed to be aligned properly. Look at the table around you. Look at the chairs around you. They're all supposed to have a perfect alignment for these objects to be used properly. Okay. Even if your chair is shaking, then it may not be a good thing for you to use. So it has to be perfectly aligned. So your body also has got that right alignment, or what we call as the anatomical alignment. There are so many other words, biomechanical alignment. When the body is poorly aligned, even if it gets slightly out of its alignment, of course, your body can adjust as much as it can. But as you spend years like that, you may develop any one of these problems that you see out here. It may cause headache. It may cause jaw pain. People suffer from jaw pain over here. It can cause hip, knee, and foot pain. I, of course, would like to elaborate all of these things, but we don't have time. Then it causes shoulder pain, and it can cause stress, fatigue, breathing problem, anxiety, and depression as well. And one of the most commonest issues that I see is neck and back pain that people suffer from. And interestingly, people suffer from ringing in the ear because of their head going into this position. Okay, so these are some of the issues that can happen as a result of poorly aligned body. Now, I just want you to do this test. If all of you can just stand up, okay? All of you can, if you can stand up, if I want you to check if you do have a poor posture or not. Let's quickly just do this assessment. Stand against a wall with your heel 6 inches away from the wall, exactly like what you see in the image. And then you're just going to look for something. You need to keep your buttock and your shoulder coming in contact with the wall. I want you to see if your head can easily reach the wall while you're trying to keep your buttock and shoulder close to the wall. So if it requires some special effort to bring the head coming in contact with the wall, then you do have a forward head posture. Okay, I've already told you some of those things that you have to do. Now, this is something that you may try, keeping your buttock and shoulder coming in contact with the wall. And if your head is not reaching your wall at the same time, you get your buttock and your shoulder coming in contact with the wall, then you do have a poor posture of your head and neck. And then the next thing you may just try to do is, if you have your family member beside you, you may just ask them to see what is the gap between your lower back. There's a curve, right? So what is the gap? What is the length between your lower back and the wall? If you can just get rid of this gap, like 2 inches, if that's just 2 inches, then you have a good posture. If it is more than 2 inches, then you do have a poorly aligned body. And again, when it comes to your neck, if you can just get rid of this gap by some 3 inches, that's a good posture. If it is more than 3 inches, or sometimes you may not be able to get your head, as I mentioned earlier, then you do have a poor posture. So just like this, I do have a lot of tests out here, which you may try. I'm not going to share it with you right now. These are all tests that I share in my usual presentation to find if you have a poorly aligned posture or not. This is one thing that you can try to do. This is called as a flexibility test. Because we haven't moved our back, moved our shoulder towards the backside, you may have developed a compromised shoulder function. and after which you may not be able to hold your hands like this. So if you're not able to hold your hands like this, then your shoulder function is slowly declining, okay? And you may think this is meant for people who do have hyperflexibility of their body. This is meant for some special group of people, but it's not the case. This is something each one of us should be able to do. This is a flexibility test. And this is again a flexibility test. You should be able to reach your toes easily. If you're not able to do it and you do have a problem. So now we come to the solution part. Now we come to the solution part. What are you supposed to do about this sitting disease? I want you to know your body is not designed to be confined to any particular position, be it sitting, be it standing, be it just sleeping or lying down on your bed. We are not designed to be physically inactive. We are designed to be physically active. We are designed for movement. Okay. Now, having said that, uh, you know, sitting is normal, but how long can you sit? You cannot sit for more than 20 minutes. Of course, there are right posture. Most of us know that you need to sit straight and your computer has to be kept at your eye level and you need to sit straight and do this. But the problem is when we spend a lot of time, more than 20 minutes is something that I don't recommend. More than 20 minutes of sitting is something that I don't recommend. I'm sure most of you watching have already spent more than 20 minutes. So I just want you to come to the awareness that you are not designed to sit for long hours. So this is where something called 20-20-20 rule comes into play. So what 20-20-20 rule means is this: every 20 minutes, you just have to take a break of at least 20 seconds. Okay, at least 20 seconds. And what are you going to do during those 20 seconds is at least take 20 steps. You need to walk at least 20 feet. And this is exactly what you need to do every 20 minutes. Of course, your break can be longer than 20 seconds and it can be for 2 minutes. Okay. And during those 2 minutes, you may just do exercises for those back muscles of your body. As I mentioned earlier, the front muscle of your body is always engaged. So you just got to do some exercises for the back muscles of your body. And that's something that you can incorporate into your daily routine. I'm just going to show some of those stretching and relaxation exercises and few back strengthening exercises that you can do during those breaks that you take. So let's find out what are those exercises that you can do. The first one is a stretching that you can do to your neck muscle. So you may sit straight and then gently bend your neck to the side and place your, suppose if you're bending towards your right side, you may just place your hand towards the left side of your head and then pull it to the point that you feel a mild stretch over the neck. And you may hold it for like 5 seconds, relax and repeat it for 5 times. Okay. And then the next thing you may do is uh, neck turns. Okay. This is neck turns, and you just turn your neck and then place your hand and then apply a gentle overpressure. And again, hold it for like 5 seconds and then repeat it for 5 times towards the right side. Okay. And then the next thing, what you will be doing is neck rolls. This is called the neck rolls. You may just gently roll your neck to the right side and the left side. 5 repetitions on each side. Okay. And this is an amazing exercise. Believe me, this is an amazing exercise for people who do have a forward head posture. This is called as chin tuck. All you got to do is tuck your chin inside your neck. And what you'll not be doing is you won't put your head down or look up. You will look forward and just tuck your chin inside your neck and then take your fingers, apply a gentle overpressure over your chin and press and hold it for like 5 to 10 seconds. Relax and repeat it for 5 to 10 times. I'm just rushing through. You may just reach out to me if you need any further help on this, or if we may find time later, we can just discuss this in detail. And this is called as shoulder rolls, and you just got to do it forward and backward. And this is again a form of shoulder rolls. You place your hands in this position and you're just gently squeezing those shoulder blades as you do this one. 5 repetitions should be sufficient every time you do this. And here, what I do is to place the hand in that position, and I'm just squeezing those shoulder blades together. I'm activating those underactive muscles over here. So squeeze those shoulder blades, okay? And like imagine having a pencil between your shoulder blades and you're trying to crush the pencil with your shoulder blades. And this is again activating those back muscles. And you may just do 5 or 10 repetitions of these exercises, okay? And what next? You may just sit like this, and this is called thoracic bend or a mid-back bend. The body has to bend at this point, not at your neck level, not at your lower back. You need to bend the mid-back, okay? So you may sit on a chair like this and bend backward, and this is something that we commonly ignore. So we may just do this one, 5 repetitions of this particular exercise. And then there's something called as a spine shift, where you sit, you're not actually lifting your hip up, you're just shifting your spine to the side like this. You're shifting it to the sides, okay? So this can actually help in some movement of your spine. As I mentioned, the spine movement is responsible for your brain to function well. So, and of course, the spine health itself depends on how much movement is there on your spine. So you may just do this one, 5 repetitions to the right side, 5 repetitions to the left side. And then there's something called as a spine twist or a spine wind. How you do that? You just got to sit straight and your lower back has to be stable, and you just have to rotate your upper back. You just got to rotate your upper back, 5 repetition to your right side and 5 repetition to your left side. And you feel a good, nice stretch over your lower back. And then there's something called as a door stretch. You place your arm over the doorpost like this and place one foot forward, and then bring your body forward, and you will feel a good, nice stretch over the chest muscles. You may hold it for like 60 seconds until you feel a nice stretch over the chest muscles. Relax and repeat it. If you're just doing it during the break that you take from your sitting hours, then you may just do 1 repetition of this exercise. Or during your leisure hours, you may just repeat it 5 or 10 times even. And then there's something called as a pelvic tilt. You may just place your hand under your buttock. You feel the pelvic bone, a pointed bone, or what we call as a sitting bone. And then you roll that sitting bone, that pointed bone, to the front of your hand and the back of your hand. The bone keeps rolling to the front and the back, which actually rotates your pelvis to the front and the back. Okay, so that's called pelvic rotation. So you do 5 repetitions of this exercise. And then there's something called as a figure of 4 stretch. You keep yourself straight, you're not slouching forward. So the moment you put your leg up, most of us do slouch. So you just got to maintain a straight back and then put your leg across the other leg. And then you may just gently lean forward, and just hold it for like 60 seconds. Okay. And then we have the hamstring stretch. We are coming to a close. I'm just winding up with this. You may just make one leg straight and then just bend forward. The idea is not to reach your toes. The idea is to feel a stretch on the back of your thigh. So it may happen even when you just touch your knee. It doesn't have to be your foot. Even when you touch your knee, you may feel the stretch, which should be just sufficient. So hold it for like 60 seconds and repeat it on both the legs. Okay, so that's it from me. So all I want to share with you is this, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So why do I say that? Even if you can just put 50% of what I just shared with you into practice, if you can incorporate all of these things right away, you can just be away from this statistics of people who suffer from most of the problems that I mentioned today. Okay, you may have wondered why this guy has to talk about so many diseases and all of the problems early in the morning, but I had a good news to share with you. You can actually reverse things and reprogram yourself just by incorporating the 20-20-20 rule and just start doing all of those exercises that I shared with you. It makes a huge difference. Okay, you may be suffering from weight gain, you may be suffering from any one of these problems. Just like how you wake up at 5 a.m. to open up doors for happiness, health, and prosperity, just incorporate this particular thing, not to sit. Today, make a decision. I'm not going to sit continuously. I'm just going to take breaks every 20 seconds. I, in fact, have developed an app called the Be Your Own Doctor, and it has got a posture reminder in it. And you set a posture reminder. You can set it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and so much more. If you can set a reminder for 20 minutes and it just keeps reminding you to take breaks, and during those breaks, you try to do these things and see what difference it can make to your health. God bless you all. And with that, I'm just winding up and I'm handing over the time to Naina. And if you have any questions to ask me, you may do so. Thank you once again for this amazing experience that you've given to me. Over to you, Naina.
Wow, that was excellent. So thank you so much. Let me first sit in a right posture. Let's use the reaction button, and first of all, let's welcome him and thank him for this wonderful reminder. Luckily, all the exercises which we have shown, we do it if for a very span of like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, we do it. So probably we need to repeat it throughout the day, which will be a good reminder. And thank you for all the information, Gerald. I can see a lot of raised hands, so I'll quickly unmute Somaji and Vinod. Yeah, go ahead.
Very good. Thank you, Naina, for allowing me to speak. Gerald, it was one of the useful presentation, really speaking. I did almost everything, and we do around 50%. Certain things are not right. And first of all, it's a new term itself for me. Postural itself is new. So postural awareness is there for me. I try to do that. And the fitness and collapse, I have to find out. I did that, the wall test. So I fit into that. Question is on two. One is you have to do this, stretching and taking out the hand on the other side. I can do it one side, but not on the other side. I don't know, is it universal? I don't know that. And then 2020 learning, one more question was there, which is not very clear. Wherein when you are doing the chair exercises, whether the hands are kept like this or hands are down, something, we could not see that from that. So a wonderful presentation, and we would love to have you here more to talk on detail. You avoided the big one, busy slide. Maybe some other time, Naina ji, since you are the neighbor, you can she can fly you down easily to our Zoom room easily. So that will be very good. You are welcome. And I think there are many questions. Can you explain this one? When you are doing this, one hand we can do, the other hand is not possible.
All right.
Is it common?
Yeah, it's a very common one, but it's not a normal one. So what does that mean is, like, we all have a dominant hand, and the dominant hand can just go all the way down to hold the other hand. So which is why we are okay to do it. And as a matter of fact, if you just do a self-evaluation to see if your shoulder is tilted down, because when I just try to do a self-evaluation of myself some time back, and my shoulder was in fact tilted. And there are two areas that I did not spend time, is the self-evaluation, the self-test that you can do for yourself, and which is very, very interesting, where you should all do a self-evaluation of yourself to see how good your posture is. And so you will see that your body is tilted to one side. So when you're tilted to one side, which is when you are not able to do it on the other side. Probably one side is better off than the other, and this is why you're not able to do it on the other side. So most of us do have that problem. Your flexibility test, you pass the test on one side and fail the test on the other side because that side is compromised. So that's what.
Not for testing, but you are able to do both hands touching?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And as I mentioned, the first time I did, it's the same with me as well. I was able to do better on one side, and the other side I was not able to reach. But then as I came to the awareness, I had to do a lot of stretching, and I had to correct my shoulder tilt, and then it just got better. So you may just have to try that as well. And as a, I taught you this doorway stretch. The doorway stretch is something that can help you improve this flexibility test. Okay. And the other thing that you asked is your hand kept like this, held like this, or is it kept like this? Because I was showing the back view. So it was kept actually like this. It was kept like this at the chest level, and your shoulder is just kept parallel, and I mean kept in a level like this, and it doesn't have to be held like this. You just got to hold it like that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there are people who can hold their hands on both the sides. Kudos to you. You have got a very good flexibility. Awesome. And yeah, any more questions?
Yeah. Vinod, go ahead, Vinod. Thank you so much for that wonderful question.
Sorry.
Sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's a very good presentation for us. Basically, I am a yoga trainer.
Okay.
I have my doubt is that this postural test, we stand on the wall. The foot also touch the wall, or
No.
it should be a little far.
It has to be 6 inches away from the wall.
Okay. Then our buttocks, backside and head should touch on the wall. Huh?
So your goal is
Okay.
this. You will keep your feet 6 inches away from the wall. And then what you will try to do here is to get your buttock and your back till your shoulder, okay, come in contact with the wall.
Okay.
So, normally how we perform the test is we ask the patients to come stand against the wall with their feet 6 inches away. So when they just try to get their buttock and shoulder come in contact with the wall, even without telling them, we just take a look if the head is also in contact with the wall or not. Okay, normally it pokes out like that. And so you don't tell people to just get the head close to the wall. So they become more conscious and they try to keep their head. It's quite easy for anyone to do that. So when you just try to keep your buttock and shoulder come in contact with the wall, then you need to see if the head is also easily reaching the wall or not. So if it requires some effort to get the head come in contact with the wall, then you do have a problem. I mean, it's an imbalance of your neck muscles. That's what it means. You're muted, Mr. Vinod.
Sorry, I muted you, sir. There was some noise.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a very useful presentation.
Thank you so much.
And you have any equipments to measure the posture, or because I think you're working at Dubai.
Yes, that's right.
So you have any different measurement tests? So can you just share with me with us? Can you give me just mobile number? Put in the chat box. I'll contact you.
Sure.
Yeah, you can
Please,
just Google
please.
Gerald Abraham
Very
and
nice
NMC Hospital.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Vinodji.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gerald is sharing his number. Vinod, sorry, Giriji, go ahead.
Thank you, Naina, and thank you for the good visitor, like the host, actually, Gerald Abraham, very nice. After COVID, most of the people are sitting in home and doing so many things in the system without knowing how to correct their postures. And really hats off to your insights and the knowledge you have shared very well. And there are so many stretches. Even though we have ortho doctors and physiotherapists, still I don't know this much of posters, n number of posters. Due to the time shortage, you have missed some of the things. Whatever you have done is very well. When you are talking about the antioxidants, how our body is generating. Most of the time we are having with food, or even I can say in my alkaline water also we are giving antioxidant.
Yeah.
Can you please brief how our body can produce antioxidant? What is the name you are told? I totally forget.
Okay.
Can you please brief about that antioxidant? How our body can generate?
Okay. Well, that by itself is one whole topic, antioxidants. But I'll try to just cut it down to two of those antioxidants that our body produces. One is a glutathione. Glutathione, of course, it's available as supplements, but actually glutathione is something that your body produces. But because of a poor lifestyle, people do not produce enough of glutathione. And this is where the supplement companies have just come up with their own products, and they just market it. And they say glutathione is very important for you. So glutathione, when your body is healthy, especially when your liver is healthy, as a result of so many abuses that we cause on our body, especially on our liver, like even a high protein diet, a high fat diet, a high carb diet, all of these can actually cause damage to your liver. And once the liver function is compromised, and then the production of glutathione, liver has got a lot of functions, and one of those functions is to produce something like this. And that can be seriously compromised. And this is one thing. And there's another antioxidant that your body produces, which is called as melatonin. And melatonin is produced by one small area of your brain. And this melatonin is also called as a hormone and a chemical transmitter, and it is also called as an antioxidant. Now, it's such a powerful antioxidant against cancer. Melatonin is a powerful antioxidant against cancer, but melatonin is also called as a night hormone simply because it is produced only at night when you sleep. So you just got to sleep in order to produce melatonin. So not just sleeping, you just have to sleep in a pitch dark room. Okay. Not sleeping during the daytime, but you just got to sleep at night. It is completely dependent on two factors: how long you sleep during night and how dark is your room. These two important factors are very, very important when it comes to melatonin production. So if you don't get two of these things, some of us do have the habit of turning on our lights. Even the smallest light in your room can just affect the production of melatonin. So there are so many other antioxidants that your body produces. Only if your body is healthy, then your body produces all of these antioxidants. In order for your body to produce these antioxidants, the entire lifestyle spectrum is needed. It's not just what we discussed today: healthy nutrition, and your overall physical activity, and every single thing is very, very important.
Thank you, Abraham. Thank you, Gerald. The nice question, nice answer. That antioxidant. Everyone has to know this. That's why I asked this question, and I think our BrainCiti people can understand how to produce antioxidant from our body.
We, in
Thank
fact,
you,
had
Gerald.
a very interesting presentation. My whole discussion was all about antioxidant. Probably when I'm given a chance again, I will just discuss on antioxidants probably.
You know, pH, the alkaline pH also antioxidant. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I
All
should not
right.
take much time. Thank you, Naina.
All right. Thank you, Giriji. So Giriji is a hardcore follower or speaker, or what do you say, bandwagon for drinking pure water. He's something to do with business related to water. So that is why he's coming up with those points.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Gerald. It was very interesting, and I could see a lot of people coming on camera to understand more about the fact. Gerald, do you have a YouTube channel on exercises, or do you want people to join your Facebook group to find the because most of them are interested to find about those exercises. So what do you want them to take action now?
Well, I do have YouTube channel and I do have my Facebook page and everything, but I'm not so regular with it. Probably I need to join the 5 a.m. club to be regular. Yeah, due to time constraints, it has always been a challenge for me to shoot videos and edit it, be a model, be a videographer,
Trainer.
and do everything. It has been so challenging for me. So, in fact, for the past 2 days, I've been just contemplating on shooting a video and editing it and posting it on Facebook and be regular with all of these. But unfortunately, I'm not so regular with it. I do have channels. You may not find a lot of exercise videos out there, but for anyone who would like to learn all of these stretches and exercises that I taught you, I believe it's available on YouTube, as I saw that it's streamed live on YouTube, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
you
it is
should be
available.
able to find that over there.
Yeah. Gerald is busy preparing melatonin, so he's busy, his body is busy preparing melatonin, so he doesn't have time to make more videos. So either of the things you can compromise, probably. All right, so a lot of messages there. I think all are, yeah. So we have in our group a person who helps with YouTube editing. So probably if you need help, we can connect you with him, and you may help him also. He's in India, so probably
Santosh
he'll
Soni.
get a chance to. Yeah, Santosh Soni.
Not too much of investment, small investment, but very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
he does all editing and phone, but I don't know how you guys will talk. But everything is possible. Everything is possible. So now that if you have a fan following, you might as well do it. Great. So do
Someone
you?
asked what is the name of my app, and Be Your Own Doctor is the name of my app. And if you see the flyer that Naina shared with you, there's a logo of my brand. My brand does not mean I have a big company or anything. I just founded this particular thing called Be Your Own Doctor just to help people and bring awareness on various health topics. And so it's on that name, Be Your Own Doctor. You will find that same logo over there, and you can just that's the app that I recommend. Yeah.
And Gerald also promotes healthy eating, plant-based diet, and probably he can also start a recipe channel on that. Great. Thank you so much, Gerald, and thank you so much. I think we have almost completed 1 hour. It was very interesting. I hope all the questions are covered. So once again, thank you for coming to BrainCiti with the help of Ignite Mind, which happens only on Fridays and Saturdays. So thank you guys. And with that note, let me